Hey guys, this is Sean Grimm with the Attorney Billing Service channel. Today, I have a special guest in the studio. You guys, I have Craig Candelore. Now, Craig is a certified family law specialist. He's been practicing for 30 years, and he's a retired colonel. Craig, thank you. Welcome to the show. I'm pleased that you're looking good, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now, today's show is about military divorces. So we're going to go into some information. Craig's going to give us some information. And you guys, if you're a serviceman, woman, or in the military, and you guys want to get some information about divorces, this guy's the specialist. So Craig, give him a little something about yourself.
Well, I went to the academy, Army. Is there any other service? I'm sorry. I did my 5 years active duty, and then I stayed in the reserves, but I activated for Desert Storm 1 and also Iraqi Freedom. So did some time abroad, and I really understand the service of people and people serving on active duty.
Nice, nice. Now, Craig is also the senior attorney at the Men's Legal Center, and he's been practicing for how long?
About 30 years.
30
so,
years,
yeah.
30 years. So let's jump right into the show. You guys are going to love this. So the main topic is, what is the difference between a military divorce and a regular divorce? Because I've been finding out it's a huge difference. So Craig, can you give us the difference between the two?
Well, it's its own little niche, really. It affects everything from custody to child support to property division. But let me, I think the main thing would be the division of the military retirement, because that's the bulk of what, when you serve 20 years, you get a military retirement.
Nice.
They just changed the rule. December 23rd, 2016, Congress passed a new law that affects all the states. So instead of having each state determine their own rule, the feds are imposing a unilateral rule, basically one rule over everybody. And it's called the frozen asset rule. And the takeaway there is that the non-military spouse gets or they divide the community property as though he had retired at the date of separation, which is a radically change from the previous one, which generally used to be, and again, at least in California, it used to be the Brown rule, where the guy would retire, and or generally the man would retire, and they would then put the numbers of years they were married while he was on active duty over his total years of active duty.
Okay.
And the new rule is no, it's frozen in time at the time as though when they separate. So it's a
nice. Okay.
different thinking.
Okay. So based on that, there is pension
issue.
And you know, if you're in the military, one of the major benefits is pension, right?
It's huge. People don't realize that they pay you money, but it's for the rest of your life. And one way, when we try to figure out how much that's worth, you go and try to buy an annuity. It's huge.
Yeah.
How much money do you have to put in a bank to get that kind of cash flow?
Yeah.
And generally, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow. So you guys, if you're listening up, that's very important, your pension. If you're looking out for that, you want to talk to a specialist. Now, yesterday when we talked a little bit about jurisdiction in different states. Can you tell us about a guy who made a huge mistake?
Yeah.
And how much of his life you could have saved him?
Well, I had somebody come in. He was an E7, and a chief. He comes in. He says, I settled, and I went to we mediated. I said, great. So tell me what you did. Well, I gave her spousal, and she got half my pension. I said, well, where are you from? He said, I'm from Texas. I said, well, do you realize that you could have opted out and having California not divide your pension? You never heard of that. I said, it's called the Tucker defense. If you're here only on military orders, then California does not have jurisdiction over your pension, but you got to plead it. And of course, he was not too pleased. And I said, well, you really want to talk to people that are in the know. There's so much stuff from survivor benefit plan to what's taxable. For example, when they're deciding support, what's taxable, what's non-taxable. Allowances are non-taxable, pay are taxable. So, C-pay taxable, base pay taxable, but housing allowance non-taxable. So there's just a whole little world in there that unless you know what you're doing, it's like a minefield for the unwary.
Wow. So you guys, did you get that? Most of you guys are going to be relocated in some place that you're not familiar with. So jurisdiction is key. And you want to talk to an expert when it comes to actually separating pensions and things like that. It could have saved that guy how much? Thousands of dollars?
Well, probably, because what you do is you get divorced here in California, but the pension gets divided in another state. And a lot easier said than done, because how do you generate that? There's already been a divorce. Do you understand? So,
yeah.
In the practical way for the let's say the non-military spouse to divide it, it's an uphill battle. Just
Wow.
the practical realities.
Wow. Now, we also spoke a little bit in depth about mediation, and you were telling me about some guy who actually decided, hey, listen, we're just going to mediate, and we're just gonna agree to agree.
Well, the problem when you mediate is you don't know what you're giving up. And the mediator, if he's a true neutral, he's not telling you what your rights are. I mean, I have a case that's actually non-military, but somebody came in, he says, I mediated and I settled everything. I said, well, okay, so are you paying spousal? He says, yes, I'm paying spousal. I said, what do you do? Well, I'm a construction guy. And did you waive spousal? He says, yeah. I said, wait a minute. Could you lose your job tomorrow? I said, sure, downturn in the economy. Well, why did you waive spousal? You'd shown. If the other side is getting spousal, shouldn't you have reserved? And of course, by the time he left, he was, not happy. I said, you don't know what you're giving up. You just don't know. Talk to somebody who knows, and then if you want to mediate, you do that. But at least understand the rules of the road. Understand all the different categories, what you should give up, not give up, what was the most likely outcome if you went to court.
Exactly. So, you guys, if it's not clear by now, I'm assuming when you're in court and you get an attorney who's representing somebody in the military and that person has no expertise in that, it's just a slam dunk, I'm assuming, right?
Well, there's only a few people like in San Diego County that actually understand the military and those issues. I mean, there's a handful. Mm-hmm. Generally, I'm on the other side, and we're talking, legalese, because, it's how you word it. Do you understand? It's just very weird. For example, with the new rule, the spouse has not an incentive to wait for the military person, let's assume it's a man, to retire, so they want their money right up front. So normally if you're representing let's say the non-military spouse, you want to get a Gilmore. So as soon as they get their 20 and eligible to retire, you want the non-military spouse to actually go in and get her pension, even though he may stay on active duty. Do you understand?
Yes.
And so there's all these negotiations that you want to take place. Survivor benefit plan. How do you divide the SBP? I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on.
Wow. So, hey, you guys just got thousands and thousands of dollars of information. So, we're getting ready to sign off. But if you like our channel, subscribe to our channel. Give me some topics that you guys want to talk about. Craig, where can they find you at?
Well, I'm a senior attorney at the Men's Legal Center. You can go online. Men's Legal Center, Family Law Advocates here in San Diego. Our telephone number is 619-234-3838. Again, 619-234-3838. For veterans, just so you know, we waive the initial consultation fee. Normally it's $75, but we waive it. And we help a lot of servicemen around the world, by the way. So, if the case is in San Diego, we have a lot of people in Afghanistan, people floating offshore, which I cannot tell you which country it is. And we're here to help. I've been in your shoes. I've worn your uniform for 32 years. Please call me. I'll give you the answers.
All this information is going to be at the bottom. Craig also said that if you use promo code ABS, he's going to waive $30 off the initial consultation fee.
If you're not military. If you're military, we give you a freebie anyways. But if you're not military, and you may be the out spouse. So, for example, now there's a lot of women in the military and the husbands are getting divorced. So if you're not the military spouse, we will waive. Normally it's $75. We'll make it $40. So with that promo code.
All right, guys. So you just got some great information. If you guys got anybody who's a man or woman in the service and they're thinking about leaning towards divorce, make sure you share this information with them. It's that important. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys next week. Remember, keep it legal.